Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are in the world, welcome and thank you for joining us. My name is Carl Anthony, and this is AutoVision News Radio Live at AutoSens and InCabin Europe 2024. We are joined by Oscar Ciordia, Marketing Director for KD. Oscar has been leading engineering teams in the automotive industry for the last 25 years, including with companies like Ficosa and TRW, in addition to KD. With an engineering degree in telecommunications, he is also the president of the Spanish Standardization Council for Electronics in Automotive. Oscar, welcome to AutoSens and InCabin. Good to see you, friend.
Thank you, Carl.
So tell us, Oscar, what right now is really fostering the adoption of optical communications in automotive?
That's an excellent question. I would say the main factor here, the main driver, I would say, is the level of conservadorism. I don't know if this is a good word, of the automotive industry.
Yes.
So they take time to adopt new technologies, and sometimes they prefer to keep suffering the pains that they are suffering today, rather than adventure into new territories that will solve their pains. By the way, this is completely different from the mindset of other entrants in the industry, like the Chinese, for example.
Right. Oscar, the value of optical communications, how does that compare to, say, something that would be based with copper wires, maybe a more traditional approach? What's the value of the optical communication when compared to, like, a copper wire, for example?
If you go to any university and you interview any student of telecom engineer, and then you ask him, how would you do this connection, which is 20 meters long, that is running at 10 gigabit per second? What would you use? Fiber. Moreover, if they answer that they will use copper in an exam, they will fail the exam. Because technically, what makes sense when you reach certain speeds, and this speed is beyond 1 gig, is to use optical. You get rid of any problem of the link length. You get rid of the number of inline connectors that you can get. You get rid of the electromagnetic compatibility issues. All these are reasons that any well-sound engineer knows, but again, it's hard to digest by a traditional industry like automotive.
Right. Oscar, in terms of the car network, in the links in the car network, where would we see optical technology maybe come to fruition first? Where would we see it first?
Good question. From our talks with OEMs and Tier 1s, they see optical to fit initially in the links that connect ECUs. For example, the big GPU with the storage ECU, that typically there you have links that go 10 gig, 25 gig. So this is a typical connection that is the good fit for optical initially. Although in the future, as sensors increase the data rate beyond 10 gig, optical will be also needed for this application as well.
Let's talk more about KD's position within the ecosystem of optical communications components. Where is KD's position in that ecosystem right now?
Good question, because sometimes you speak on the company and at the end they tell you, what exactly are you doing? The whole system of the communication is composed by several pieces. You have the optical fiber, you have the connectors, but you have the transceivers, which are the electronic ICs that are in the ECUs, and they are actually the ones that move the data, that put the correct formatting, equalization, and KDPOF is the one on the transceivers itself. We build the transceivers. We also are behind the standard that was created. And of course, we partner with other companies, like, for example, Corning, that they develop the fiber and the connectors.
In terms of the adoption of optical communications in the future, what does KD see there, namely for speed grades? What are your thoughts?
Today we are transitioning from 1 gigabit speeds to less than 10 gigabit. This is where we are today, and probably during the next 3-4 years, this will be the target speeds.
Sure.
But beyond 4 years from now, so around 2027, 2028, we are already seeing the need to go beyond 10 gigabit per second. So our plans is to stick to the standard, which goes up to 50 gigabit per second, but we will be releasing ICs in increasing speed grades. Initially 10 gigabit per second, which is the IC that we are presenting here. In 2 years from now, it will be 25 gig, and in 3 years, it will be 50 gigabit per second.
Are there OEMs and tier ones right now that have already considered the adoption of this technology, either near or in the midterm? What does that landscape look like going forward?
Yeah. So again, because of the time that we still have in front of us, that multi-gig will be really needed, we are in the initial steps of presenting the technology, gathering inputs, and somehow closing really, which is a timeline. But we are already doing proof of concepts with OEMs in Asia, in the US, and in Europe as well.
Right. Oscar, I've been part of our AutoSens events and now our InCabin event. I have been part of these events for 7-8 years now, and it has been exciting to watch Katie come in to our conferences and present your innovations and present your solutions. I think that you bring a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise to our community. I've enjoyed interacting with your colleagues, either here at the conference or over email or through LinkedIn. So Oscar, thank you for joining us, and from all of us here, I just want to wish you a great rest of the event, safe travels back home, and let's do this again sometime real soon, friend.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Carl.
More to come from AutoSens and InCabin Europe 2024 from the Feira de Barcelona alongside Oscar Ciordia. I'm Carl Anthony, AutoVision News Radio.